Why am I only seeing so many chats here?
Time will tell if that's actually what the
I'm
case
using
is
the app,
here,
which
but
I've never
again,
used before, so you guys are going to have to bear with me.
There are 3 people in the car.
All right, they're still on eastbound 210. I'm wondering, I guess, Desmond, we haven't seen them try to take an exit, certainly since we've been on the air. Wow, look at this.
Well, just
and they
side drafting a sheriff's unit in the middle of the 210 doing 105 miles an hour. I don't even know if that unit knew what the hell's going on here.
Possibly join in, but that was a pretty bold move there.
Yeah, pretty crazy. So, okay, we're making
What's
that
up,
transition,
everyone?
it looks like, from the 210 north of the Rose Bowl to the section here that goes east.
Oh, now I'm saying, why are the
through
chats
these tunnels right here? They're going to come
the,
out right over here. I'm actually really surprised at just
chats
how
are like
uncongested,
pouring in.
that
I am on vacay, that's why we're
transition
late.
ramp
We're doing a
was,
replay because I got
that
some
ramp
time
is
today,
really
time to burn.
notorious for backing up. I thought for sure they were going to hit a bottleneck there, but
All right, still 210
with
eastbound.
these pursuit suspects, not only do they have those tinted windows, but they just seem to get really
Yeah, I
close
guess
to
we
traffic.
pull it back.
We'll
It is
see
a,
if that luck continues here as
we do have a
get on
boogity,
what would
boogity,
also be a
boogity. Let's go chasing yesterday.
even though we are at the tail end of rush hour here.
We're
on the
bootlegging it,
eastbound
GG. I
210.
don't have my computer with me
Right
for the
around
next 2
Lake
weeks,
Avenue is
so
where we
any
usually
chases
start
are
to
just
see
gonna have to be
things
old school
kind of,
Periscope style, where I'm
bog
speaking
down
from
a little
behind
bit.
the
I'm kind of hesitant to look
from
up,
behind the
in
phone.
front
Dingle
of me
my
right now
berry.
because I don't want to lose this vehicle because they're driving
Thank you
so
for joining
crazy.
Antarctica Nation
But you
once
can see
again.
LAPD, they are right there in very close pursuit here. They have not shown any interest in wanting to let this one go.
And we have seen this driver make some pretty...
Should be pretty obvious. I don't have the ability to put
you know,
graphics on the
hasty
screen,
moves there,
but
going
I put
in
it in
and
the
out of
title
traffic.
that this
At
is
one point, I thought
yesterday's
they
chase.
got really close in between
Stop
two
asking if
vehicles.
it's replay.
And now still driving speeds over 100, if we're right in terms of what
Breed.
we're looking at here on our speedometer, with LAPD close behind them. And I think that...
Karate Champ, appreciate you 4 months and running.
They were tracking this vehicle and then decided, since they were driving so recklessly, that they really did want to try to get this person in custody. It's interesting how they make those
I'm on the middle.
decisions,
I'm in
because they usually do tracking.
I'm on my
mode,
old school
for that very
iPad
same
with the
reason,
phone pointed at
because
it.
They're driving so dangerously, but at the same time, it seems like they want to make sure this driver knows. With these,
Now, Black Dodge Charger
two
here,
other
210
burglary
eastbound.
suspects,
Burglary
three
is the want
burglary
residential
suspects on
burglary.
this vehicle, but they do
Burglary.
want this to stop, and they're right
No
behind
clue
them.
how this chase goes. Just know we had one, have a link, and we're watching it back like always. I know a lot of you aren't able to watch it live. That's why we do these things. Hopefully this finds you at a more convenient time.
There's no easy decisions that they make. You go into tracking mode to try to get this person to calm
In Europe,
down,
Scotty,
and they can still
in
drive
Europe.
crazy, and then you're giving them some distance. And if they get out and run into a parking structure or something, they have a much higher probability of getting away. But if you decide to continue to stay engaged, there's definitely a major public safety element. So I think the judgment is, well, if we're going into tracking mode and they're still driving crazy, then we may as well actually try to pursue them, because they're getting the worst of both worlds if they're in tracking and if the person's still driving really, really crazy like that. So
Looks
we'll
like
see what they
it's
decide
getting
to
a
do
little more
here.
crowded.
Finally. How many times have we done a chase where
Here's
the
we leave Pasadena from this section kind of on
the
and off
roads
through the
part?
605, that kind of choke point. We'll see.
No
if the
traffic. I
driver
promise you it's
decides
not
to-
like
we've seen him
that. But
drive
we are
the
pretty
right
far
hand shoulder
eastbound. We're
before
way
in the
east of
air,
Downey.
and
We're
not
210
necessarily
headed
do
towards
that.
like the
Let's see if they
215,
do
I
that.
think.
Indeed, they do cut right over at the last second before the on-ramp.
I still
right
watch
there.
movies like this,
And now
Chum
on
Chummer.
the right-hand shoulder, with all the slow traffic,
Good old
you got this guy
B-Flex.
going
All right,
75
on the shoulder, picking up all sorts of debris there as we swerving around through medians. Those are elevated platforms with concrete curbs and usually gratings as well. 75 miles an hour and pretty heavy traffic here.
So this is the most dangerous.
I don't know if they're in tracking mode or not.
So, yeah, and Pat and Des, I just wanted to jump in here. A couple of things are happening right now. CHP is going to take over. They're getting their units in place. The sergeant at CHP, the Altadena office.
What do you mean
wants to
link
make sure that they have
deleted?
at least 2 or 3 units in place before they make LAPD back out. The other interesting thing, Pat, that kind of goes to what I was talking about earlier, that they may have been surveilling the suspect. CHP is saying
I'm live.
also
I
need
mean,
LAPD's
it's a link to the
unmarked
live,
units
isn't
out
it?
of this as well. So LAPD apparently has patrol vehicles.
All right, I'm just not going to answer. People are going to keep coming in late, and they're going to keep asking the same questions, and I don't feel like...
Again, leads me to believe that this was some type of
Oh, no,
surveillance
bflix.io,
operation prior to the pursuit
bflix.io.
that then led to this pursuit.
Well, this is pretty... Now, as
Anything you
said,
want.
once CHP
Free of charge.
gets involved, that's it.
Why would you ever
It's
pay for
them
anything?
or not,
Or not at all.
Right, so that's what they're trying to get situated right now. They want to make sure they have enough units. We're also running
Old school
into this
Periscope
issue
days,
that
taking
we've
it back
seen
here
time
once
and
again,
where these guys
joining
are
us
going
late.
so fast through these areas that we're switching CHP
no computer with me, therefore no OBS, therefore any chases I do are going to have to be just audio only without me on screen. At least you don't have to see me in my boxers this time.
LAPD, which is in the north end of the valley.
And you know what? Now that it's slowing down tremendously.
Yeah, Stu may have been on the call, but I know we've got a good stream here with Desmond, so I'm going to rock with this one.
These kinds of speeds, just in terms of them trying to make a decision, make some changes.
How many of you, I'm curious, how many of you watch the chases live, or do you just watch them only when I go live? I know there's obviously a big market for it in Los Angeles, and its own little portion of the internet, you know, standing by waiting for live chases. But even if you are someone who is watching chases regularly, doesn't mean you're like buy a computer and you can turn it on. You might be driving, you might be working, you know, based on how many people watch it back on replay. I assume there is still a market for people that miss the chase and want to watch it back with some commentary.
Is it possible that you can maybe look ahead now because the traffic has died down a little bit, or at least the speeds? Anyway, just
right. You can also watch older chases that weren't yesterday on YouTube. There's so many you can just scroll through.
It's kind of steady.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see kind of this.
Why are my mods getting rejected by the Nightbot twice?
Kind of on and off slowing from this point through the
Skywalk. Yeah, you guys are appreciated. I know I'm a little tardy, but it helps when I haven't seen or know what the result is. When I miss a chase, I do my best to just avoid the ending or anything, because it's practically live for me right now. I just want the people to know that are watching this that
All right, we lost.
Hey, there I am. Look at me. See, I told you I'm right in front of the phone. You want my pretty face? There you go.
What Desmond was saying.
Yeah, I was talking about the traffic as well, and I was just kind of looking at our next traffic maps, and it is going to be.
Oh, Mike Rogers back in the studio.
As he mentioned, and it looks like there's his picture back, Pat, as we're kind of going through this choppy traffic.
That always used to, when the screen used to reflect back in the day on Periscope, I'd be like fucking butt naked or something. Oh, okay. Now we're over to Gil Lavis in KTLA. That's a nice little hot switch. Whoever's YouTube stream this is, love to see that. Okay, now we're with Gil. I didn't even switch it, but the stream I'm watching did. Says I'm Dr. Skoma says I'm from Maine. Only watch them when you're live. Appreciate you. Love the old school Periscope style. Yeah, I wish we could take that all technology back to 2015, where it was a much simpler place.
To the 210 interchange in Pasadena, and we're continuing here eastbound, approaching the 605.
AIM only on the internet at the moment, as we are not live. As the chase is not live, I should say. Wow, 12 months in running, Grinch. Appreciate you. We're married now. Anyone that's been subscribing for 12 months, I mean, that's practically a relationship.
Still, the LAPD, they're in trail. They've been on and off in surveillance mode on this pursuit. The vehicle at times speeding up very fast. They
Please
go into
read the
mode,
title,
down,
Dynamite.
But now they have no choice. They're in heavy traffic here. And,
title of the program is right there. We're in Arcadia, way out there, 210 eastbound. That is east of downtown Los Angeles.
Okay, let's take a look. Boy, it's really dark. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Tinted windows, once again, the want is burglary. But we're continuing to swerve.
Yes.
What's a 3-month subscription ass dope feeling? A quick fling? Yeah, practically a one-night stand of Twitch, in a way. Still, big speed. That is fast. We're up to 40-something miles an hour in standstill traffic. It's always relative to the traffic on the highway. So when we see cars doing like 80 in standard and then the cars doing like 120, it looks different. But 40 when everyone's doing 0, pretty much the same thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
Still going along here.
Let me pull out to a wider shot.
I'll try to get to as many chases as I
they
can
have
live, but I'm
two.
on
We
such a
have
time
one
difference in
CHP
Europe
trailer
that
trying to catch
it's
up
just gonna have to
years
line up that
overhead.
I'm around
So
and I'm
those
not
are all
out
good
like
things.
exploring
You
or
see the
something,
driver trying to find a pocket
and I see a
to
chase is
find,
going on.
more
Like, that's the only
space.
way I'm gonna be able to do them
LAPD
live for the
saying
next 2 weeks. So for
staying
those of
right
you
there
joining
behind
us,
the
I
driver.
apologize for.
And
It's gonna be
that's
about
the
10 days
difference
before I
here
can
at
get
this-
back
at this
to
point.
the United
There's
States.
no reason to go into surveillance mode at this point because of the
I
traffic.
could have
You're
technically brought my
staying
laptop with
behind
me,
the
but
vehicle here, and they have the air
I
shield,
just
so they're pretty confident
the
this
risk
guy's
of
not
getting
gonna
it
get away.
stolen or
And
something happening
thing
to
that
it
the driver's trying to do right now
just
is
really
to
wasn't
weave
worth.
in
You know,
and
I'm
try to
not
find
around all
pockets
day either.
and try to cut the LAPD off. Like
There's gonna be no
there,
pit
but
maneuver
you
at these
get through.
speeds for those
So
of you
It's
curious.
gonna be like that cat mouse.
You do a pit at 20 miles an hour, you're going to need it between about 30 and 50 is when pits are most effective. And the reason for doing it isn't they're just spinning the car because they feel like turning it around. They're spinning the car because it will stall the engine. That's why it's called a pit, a pursuit intervention technique. And when they have the perfect scenario of, especially with all these pedestrians in cars, in traffic, around the suspect, and you try and pit, you know, you could take out a couple other cars and injure the people. So they try and do pit maneuvers when the roads are
it's gonna
more
be very
open
difficult for
and the
them
chase
to,
is a lot less
to get
dramatic, if you will.
ahead. So that's why they'll call ahead.
Level
to
4
their
on the hype train.
Park division to have those
On a
officers
replay,
ready
appreciate you guys.
on the,
Maybe we'll get it to level
as
5.
the, pursuit
I believe in
approaches.
you.
So, but at this point, LAPD
Birdsintheair.com.
wide to see
Subscriptions,
where
all of
they're
which
at.
we are
They're
very
gaining some
thankful for
distance
as we
there.
continue to
He's
do
in
the
that,
channel.
exit lane, but we've seen the driver jump across.
We're getting off.
point at the very
Are we
last
getting
second
off?
to get back on the freeway,
I'm getting
so we'll
off.
see if that happens.
Oh, look at that. We got a little merch in
Yeah,
the
the driver is in
little
the
merch command in the chat. That is my iPad. That is not me, so
There he goes.
All right. Who came up with a gift me subs? Amadi. How do I know when there's a live chase in the first place? You can activate keyword alerts on Twitter as well as certain accounts that are doing the same, some scanner accounts. And if you follow enough of them or turn on enough alerts, you for the most part you'll get California chases if you're just following Twitter accounts, but if you have keywords, sometimes there's a random one in like Oakland or Detroit or Oklahoma City, sometimes Miami too.
Let's catch up.
Yeah, I'll be in Europe for the next 2 weeks. Graph X Kid, 9 months and counting. Appreciate you. Did you get your passport? Did you get your shirt yet? Maybe I need to do a subscription style for the merch, that if you've been a subscriber for like at least a year, maybe you get a t-shirt or something. I don't want to promise that, but just thinking out loud of complimentary t-shirt of some kind if you do 12 straight months. I don't know. Thinking out loud. It's a perfect time to travel too. It's not too hot, even though it's the end of August. There's nothing really going on. There's a lot of us 12. Yeah, that's the problem. I might be giving out like tens of thousands of dollars worth of t-shirts, and I just signed up for that. Yeah, I need to think of a better parameters as we continue 210. That sure does not feel like westbound. We're in Arcadia to Duarte. There's no way we're going westbound. This feels eastbound to me. Maybe it's westbound because of the traffic.
There that's just taken over from the LAPD. So they've
You can see the 210 painted right there on the... I love that LA highways do that, by the way, because there's so much traffic and there's so many lanes. Did you see how they put the 210 on the pavement and there's 605 over there on lane number 2? That you can see which lane is going to transition and merge into which interchange.
At this point, because of that traffic, approaching the 605 here in just about a mile.
Jamie says, just did a 2-week Euro trip in June. Enjoy yours, Wob. Appreciate the commitment to Skywell. Trying to. I hate when I miss chases, but I mean, I can't just sit around every second of the day, right? Waiting for a chase to happen. I was around all day before I left. Nothing happened. And then the first day I leave, there's a chase. That's always the way it works. I told you, I'm cursed. The moment I step on like the tennis court for an hour, and while at home, there's a chase. Like, God damn it. What the fuck? Yeah, they do that in Atlanta with the 85.
Yeah, go ahead.
But especially near downtown, the part of the 10 that goes from west to east down and funnels you into downtown, it's about 9 lanes wide. I'm not even shitting you. It's 9 lanes wide. The very far left lanes take you to the 110. The middle lanes take you continuing on the 10 eastbound. Then the very far right lanes take you 110 southbound. Then there's another one that has an interchange like a 61 or something, and everybody swerves because they're trying to get to their specific highway, and where there's no traffic, everyone's doing like 80 miles an hour. It's dangerous as shit. Thankfully, there's always traffic down there, so people aren't like doing 7-lane interchanges at 70 plus miles an hour.
Staying in one lane for a time, so that might be beneficial to the CHP to try to set up a spike strip in like the carpool lane like we're seeing right now. That might be an option up ahead, but we'll see what they decide to do. A pit maneuver, there's just too much traffic
answer to
right
which
now.
Eliana followed the main account.
Anybody getting hurt,
main
any
account.
innocent drivers getting hurt, and then again the whole unknown about being armed or not. That they don't want to do a pit maneuver if they're armed.
Did you hear that? They don't want to do a pit maneuver if they're armed. And if it's a residential burglary suspect, they are assuming that there has to be some weapon at some point. Awfully quiet in the chat today. What are you guys doing? We're just driving along in Irwindale. We're just watching a car drive in the HOV lane in Irwindale. I'm happy to. How long does this chase go for? Actually, don't answer that question if you saw it already. Everybody's working. Look at y'all living your lives. You're in Cancun? Oh man, it's so hot there. I was just there. Where everybody's working. Working and twerking. Procrastinating. I know the feeling. You could have this as like a side screen. It's a pretty good picture for bootlegging. I gotta go back to my bootlegging days. I'll never stop doing an NBA, but this brings me back to when I had the camera in front of my TV in my old apartment in Los Angeles. Roommate Katie walking around. Love that. Listen, that's why we're here. People are working, they're bored, they're trying to get through the day. A little side screen action, put the chase on. It's the idea.
I'll come out wider. There's three black and whites right now behind it.
Be grad.
Airship turning circles
2
right
months.
overhead.
That's like a one-night stand, be grad. You and me.
A break in the traffic
Pause.
here. A little bit more speed happening right now, but I'm trying to get a look around the next curve, and it looks like it's going to slow down up ahead.
Emergency radio roulette? Probably not. No. Nobody's getting traded in August. All the executives are in Europe, too. They're all on vacation. This is the week. Everybody's on vacation. So, while executives are on vacation, they're definitely not traded. I'd be stunned if there was a deal that ever occurs at this point in the NBA calendar. Once you get to, like, September 1st, then it could kick back up. I do know, yes. Why do you think I book my trips around this exact week every year? 2 weeks. Harden will probably get traded at some point during the season. The new young men's USA basketball squad. Tyrese Halliburton, bro.
The other cars there in the
Halliburton and Reeves are killing it. They win gold. That'll be really impressive because the rest of the world is caught up for sure. But there's a lot of big names missing anyway.
It looks like almost freeway speeds about 55.
My futures are on. Unfortunately, Jamal Murray dropped out today, so I have Canada and Australia to win the World Cup. But Halliburton is really standing out, as always. That dude is just the nuts. He's so smart. He's the next CP3. one step ahead at all times. It's got a lot more physical capability too. Bigger. What's the one thing I'm looking forward to doing in Europe? I don't know. I'm just kind of improvising it. Going to some World War II sites at some point in Germany.
It's quite a distance. In fact, if there wasn't so much traffic,
You could say
I
that
think
about
the
10
speeds
teams
would be
not
much
drafting
higher.
Halliburton, though. The
We
Knicks
know
took Obi
that,
Toppin,
in the 210
which is still
stretch
fine, I
of,
think, but
in the, like the Christmas
there's also a world,
Center
like, I
area,
regret not
speeds
the
were
Knicks not
faster
drafting
through
Halliburton,
that
but if
area,
they
but
draft
because of the
Halliburton, then they
traffic,
don't
the vehicles
draft
are driving a
quickly
lot
later
slower
in that
speeds,
draft,
up
and then they
over
probably
speeds
don't
are 75
draft
miles an hour. So
sign
it's got
Jalen
that
Brunson
carpool
either.
lane, it's opened up,
So
traffic
it's kind
is
of a
opened up ahead, so we're gonna start
butterfly
seeing higher
effect, I think.
speeds.
Where are we? Citrus? We're in Covina. We're definitely going eastbound. What? I'm convinced. Arcadia to Covina to Glendora. Can someone with their LA geography help me out here? I swear we're going east. Shouldn't we be going towards the 215 from the 210? LA highways should be a college course. Yeah, okay, we are going eastbound. I'm not crazy. Also, look where the sun is, because this occurred during rush hour. The sun is behind the chase. So if it's behind the chase, that means it sets to the west.
And look at those speeds up to 80 miles an hour now.
80 miles an
because
hour,
traffic is
HOV.
loosened up here, and we have the 57 freeway. I'm listening to the CHP now. It sounds like
Bouncing around Europe, people.
They are-
Going between
well, I
Portugal,
don't wanna give
Germany.
anything away, but they may try a spike strip at some
Just everywhere
point.
in between.
So
Kinda
we might be
improv it
seeing
as I
that
go.
in the near future. Very difficult to judge and determine where that's going to be at, if and when that's
Yeah, we'll
gonna
cover
happen.
chases that are
A
not in
lot of
LA. It's
factors
just
are
very
involved.
rare
The safety
for-
of officers, number one, and
Very
trying
rare
to
for a
get
chase
the,
to
the
occur
spike strip in the proper
in a
lane,
non-LA
too,
city, just
and
because
also
of
trying to keep it out
helicopters
of
and
the
what's
way of
needed
drivers.
and technical capacity, and even the aerial journalists just being inexperienced at it. You know, it's not as easy as the LA makes it look. Like this helicopter right now with Gil Levis, there's a pilot who has to know everything about the air and where all the highways go. He's getting commands from Gil Levis in the chair because he's watching. He's got the camera pointed at this, so he's commentating while streaming, while filming, while directing. Right? I make that joke all the time during Raider Roulette, but Gil Levis doing that while suspended in the air. There's not many Dodge Chargers in Europe. No.
I did see the LAPD go through.
That was Oklahoma City, Scotty Phil.
I
think that was
the
Oklahoma
CHP
City where he was
helicopter
driving
is
through those
likely,
fields.
On its way, if not here already. But
Oklahoma City
what
chases
you were
get
saying,
wild.
Talking about the traffic, Mike, slowing down, it certainly is.
Why is there so
right
much
now.
traffic this
As we
far
approach
east?
that
It makes no
57, just
sense.
like you
It's
said,
because the
just past
15 interchange is
57,
coming up and
you can
everyone's
see
going to
the cars
Vegas.
starting to come to a stop almost there on the freeway, and the driver choosing that carpool lane because it's moving the fastest.
Are Dodge Chargers just good for stealing? Yeah, apparently. Still going along. Yeah, so now it says 210 eastbound. I knew we were right. 210 eastbound, Glendora, just past Covina, Ontario probably coming up next, and then we'll hit the... He's either going to have to continue on the 10 at some point. The 210 is going to run out of road, or you're going to hit the 15 going up to Vegas. Or south. It is a long commute to LAX. That's what's most craziest part about LA. So this is still technically LA, all right? We're like Covina is very much part of metropolitan Los Angeles. And in traffic like this, I'm not even shitting you, it would take you 2 hours to get from this part of LA to another part of LA where LAX is. That's down on the west side, like El Segundo. That would take you legitimately 2 hours to get to, if you're lucky. Same, so you could get from New York to Philadelphia in the same amount of time.
It's likely they're very stressed out about being in this traffic, not knowing what could come ahead of them, and then having to make a decision to try to get out of the traffic. Maybe
Why
on
do
the
people think the
surface
straw
streets.
does not have
But even
2
surface
holes?
streets, at this hour could be pretty
You're,
heavily
oh,
congested
you're thinking
too.
it's the same hole?
That is a very interesting question.
Oh,
of
that's
what's going on
interesting.
in their heads. But look at what's happening here. The carpool lane is starting to
Yeah, I can see the
get
case
a
for
little
that.
bit slower, but I can tell you once again here. And
It's
this is
the traffic's not.
about a half mile.
If you're experienced and you know which way it flows. When I was commuting for work like 10 years ago, I just timed it perfectly because I always knew when the roads were clear. So it's doable. But if you dare like step into the 10 or the 405 at any point in any rush hour, and those rush hours last 3 to 4 hours, oh, it's bumper to bumper. Benny the Bull will always win a fight. Benny the Bull is too smart. Benny the Bull will, like, he's a road runner. LA's the only place I've been bumper to bumper at 11 o'clock. I was coming home super late over the weekend from the Valley back home, and I was on the 405, and it was a midnight, and there was just bumper to bumper on the 405 going the other way, northbound. Yeah, you know what? I am someone who definitely takes trains, and I also take the Culver City buses because they have their own lanes. So while everyone's stuck in traffic on the side streets, the buses fly. It's just people can't get over the concept of I'm not taking no bus. You my friends are, I'm not getting on no bus. Like, wait, are you above taking a bus? I mean, first of all, I'm a New Yorker. Like, everyone takes public transportation because it's easy, traditionally easier. But LA does have trains if you're downtown. And depending on which bus line it is, like the Culver City buses and the big blue buses,
yes, in and out of traffic,
those are
we saw
good.
that
The
driver
metro
leading,
buses
using the
could be
shoulder, the
a little bit of a
points.
problem.
But now, being in the carpool lane for a while, it seems like the driver's more relaxed, maybe more calm, trying to think about what.
It's always funny.
what's going on,
I can hop on a
and,
train if I'm on the
really
west
using
side
that,
and I'm going
carpool
downtown for a
lane
Laker game or
getting
something.
around cars there. Now, in this
The
section of
10,
road,
because the train
the
is
carpool
parallel
lane
to the
has a very
10.
wide shoulder that
And
the
you
driver's
just
using
fly
here.
by the
So,
bumper-to-bumper
they
traffic
could-
on the
the CHP
10 on a
could
train.
use
It takes you
that
20
center
minutes to
median
get from
as a spike
Santa Monica
strip
to
because
Staples
it's so
Center.
wide, they might be able to get a spike strip
Or you can be
up ahead
someone
where the
that's
driver
too
won't see
above
him and, make
taking
that
the
a
train, and you can just
successful
sit your
spike
ass in
strip.
traffic
I
for
keep
an
hearing
hour.
them talking
So
about it, though.
I wouldn't say LA has good public transportation. It's just very available. It could get a little seedy on there. I wouldn't recommend taking it after sunset. Could get a little rough. I mean, it's fine, but there's some characters. Most major cities have good transportation. We're still driving. Are you guys enjoying this tour of Laverne, California? As we're 210 eastbound here between the HOV lane and the shoulder. Hopefully this chase isn't like hours and hours. Most memorable chase I've streamed. Great Compton chase of 2016, Mr. Invincible, you name it.
Yeah, the next one will be Rancho Cucamonga, and it should be
No,
happening.
you know what? Homeless people
very
on trains are
shortly
fine
here.
if they're like
We're
sleeping
approaching
and
the
stuff.
15
It's just the ones
freeway.
that are
That's gonna
like
be interesting
tripping on
what the
drugs or
driver
something
decides to do. If
and
he
try and
goes north,
engage with you.
That could mean on their way to Vegas, or if he continues eastbound, that's going to take
Vegas in
driver
play,
into San
Gil?
Bernardino. So we'll see what the driver does. He's out of that carpool lane now, back into the carpool lane. So really, the freeway has loosened up here. The traffic is moderate right now, and 3 units still behind the vehicle.
CBJ,
and, the airship is
61
not calling
shorty.
pursuit from the
Hey, I
air.
appreciate you. 4 months and counting on your subscription. Even bringing you some Skywob while on vacation in Europe. So
Let's catch up, Anton.
appreciate you guys hanging out, even on delay. A little bit of a delay. If it's live, I'll do my best to get there and handle it, but I was out to a late dinner last night, and the alert dropped, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna miss Chase. The real question is, am I going to be able to produce the replay of this after, for mobile only? I don't know. Is it possible? Because I need like my video producer desktop tab. Somebody asked the over-under on this chase. Dude, we're just driving right now. I don't know. This does not feel like it's going to end any time. We're all the way out in Claremont, and it's only going to get more open.
They are. They're going to keep that distance. They have nothing to lose at this point. They have plenty of assets and assets ahead of them. The assets in the air, they can swap out if they run out of fuel. So, like you said earlier, this driver has 1 tank of gas and that only. So, it's only going to go
Well,
so
Twitch
far,
needs to get their
and
shit
then
together,
it's a
Ranger.
foot
Like,
chase.
YouTube's lapping them in almost every regard. I sure like Twitch more, but, I mean, how can you deny just the... YouTube is so popular, more people are watching YouTube than cable now. I also don't believe in, if I'm going, like, the subscriptions for these things, if it comes down to, like, monetizing the feed, I think I couldn't make as much money on YouTube as just people connecting their Prime account for free here. And I can't turn on monetization on YouTube because it's, what's this cop up to?
That's the handoff for Rancho Cucamonga units. They're going to
Okay,
hand off
Rancho Cucamonga
the,
PD
Baldwin
now
Park
taking
units. They're
the
going to take over here as primary. So
Baldwin
we're
Park.
continuing
So those are
eastbound
downtown
on the 210
units.
freeway,
Now Rancho
approaching
Cucamonga is
Mountain,
the
I believe
new
they just
jurisdiction
said,
here that's
and
taking over this
the
chase.
15 freeway still a ways up ahead.
No, but I can't
looks like the
monetize YouTube
content
by
right now
taking
to
a
stay
news
on the
feed.
freeway at least for
There's
the
no way I
point.
can turn on monetization without getting kicked off for that on YouTube. So why would I do that?
Oh,
I think Twitch is probably the best product, but obviously doesn't have the distribution or audience that YouTube does. Okay, people, we have a chase now. 82 miles an hour, HOV lane here. Lane number 0. Well, we're left of the HOV lane. We're in the shoulder. And I think that black asphalt is not a wall. I'm going to guess that's pavement with a little bit of a drop off. But we're doing 80 miles an hour here in pretty thick traffic as we approach the 215 interchange in Upland. Wow, Ranger, you're unbanning people? What did they do did they reach out to you? What did they do to get unbanned? Yeah, and this way too, I can use a pen to do things like this. They begged and pleaded. Judge and jury. I'm Pat Summerall. Here's the chase. Look at these 2 fine Dodge Charger tires. Haven't picked up much debris. If this was a true NASCAR driver, you'd see him do a little swerving back and forth to clean the tires off. You guys know that's a thing, right? Get the dust in the treads. If you swerve, do the quick little swerves, you can knock the debris out of the treads.
yeah, they could very well change at any time. We are getting into that heavier traffic, as you see in the picture. The CHP dropping back a little bit distance, but there are
Uh-oh. Gil!
congestion in those slower lanes.
This one right here. Right here. Just me watching a phone, watching an iPad. I love bootlegging. Little swerve. People bored with this chase? We're losing viewers. That's also a thing too. If you watch the chase when it happens live, you know I'm going to do a replay, and you can't come watch it. You have to watch the raw feed. Look at that spectator up there.
Spike strip right there.
Ah! Spike strip! Not even close.
They were just too far away. Too far away.
Did you see that under the bridge? They had a giant spike strip. That was not a spike stop stick. That was a real spike strip with like giant knives coming out of it. Usually the stop sticks are just little yoga mats that they throw out there. When you drive over it, the needles expand. That one looked like a bed of nails. I get that a lot of people probably watched it yesterday. But if you decide to watch it, like, there's no commentary on the Gil Leva stream. He's just doing his job. Yeah, for real.
For the time being, and it's going to slow down once again here in about a mile and then pick back up. So the traffic is kind of like that. It's ebbing and flowing here. But I can tell you that when we were ahead of it, you know, when we saw the vehicle go over into the slower lanes, I believe that driver either saw the CHP up ahead, although the CHP was well hidden there, possibly got tipped off that the spike strip was up ahead at that particular overpass, because once he passed that point, he got back over the fast lane. So the driver might have had a heads up somehow that spike strip was set up at that particular spot and was able to get around it. So we were also able to look through the front windshield, and I don't know if you were able to.
The signal's going to get weak as we continue to go east, way east of. These helicopters are based out of Van Nuys. I mean, we got to be like 40, 50, 60 miles away from base. Front left looks a little thin, doesn't it? Will there ever be a police chase where it doesn't involve a Dodge Charger? But we haven't had one to date. Dodge Charger fan 98, great day for a chase. I agree. Now we're starting to get into the dirty portion of the. Oh, back to Desmond Shaw. Okay.
Into Ontario, and as we've said many times, as we have witnessed from so many chases, things.
Was Eliano over this at some point?
Different out here in the Inland Empire. We see that the law enforcement can
Whoa.
use some more.
Okay, we're picking up a little bit here. 96 in the on the shoulder.
Dragging something out, kind of lengthening the time that the public can be endangered in this. So that's what makes me think we may see something else like that in the near future to bring this one to an end.
Well, Desmond, we'd like to re-rack the actual spike strip if we can show our
Okay.
viewers. There we go.
Here's the spike strip with the pedestrian standing watching it.
That was so.
Look at the throw! Oh, that's a long throw. He threw that about 10 feet. Those things must be heavy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you saw it got tangled up a little
It
bit.
did. It didn't just go.
What an effort. Only missed by about 15 feet.
That was unfortunate, but
Yeah.
there was that attempt, and again, as we've been talking here, they witnessed it too.
Yeah.
So the driver knows that could be another possibility, and that they're very
Hello, my name
serious
is
and
Rookie.
want
Where'd you
to
get
get
that
these people
from?
into custody.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Pat, I'm listening to some of the radio traffic here in CHP.
You play how you practice.
It sounds like the airship that's overhead is already saying, hey, we're good on fuel now, but somebody needs to be ready to replace us. Whether it's another CHP helicopter, 40 King, which is a San Bernardino sheriff's
That's
helicopter,
ours?
have already volunteered
Nice.
to come and take it
Good
over
job,
as
Ranger.
well. So the CHP helicopter said, well, not yet, because we've still got fuel, so let's wait till we get a little closer and then swap out to kind of maximize.
You putting a prediction in the
time
in the
here.
chat?
So,
I don't know if I can see it.
There are no signals of giving up from them. They're coordinating to make sure that everyone stays fresh. I just heard all the Baldwin Park units drop out. These are all Rancho Cucamonga units that are in pursuit now. We'll soon be in San Bernardino area. Those guys are waiting.
Okay, Mike, we want to.
Yeah, that is the one. If he just continues to drive eastbound on the 210, this is going to happen a lot more often where they get to set up. There's slow motion spike strips. Whee! Nice try.
He sees it and
Yeah. Okay.
Did you see the slumped shoulders?
A good attempt there.
yeah, and you got to give it to him. I mean,
And now we're really set. Did not like that as he gets a little agitated here. We are way off on the shoulder. 85 miles an hour. Now I have an interchange. Are we getting off?
Yeah, that's the
No,
the
we're just
beach
re-merging.
carpool lane exit, one of the few that's on that has its own dedicated carpool exit. It looks like they thought about
Fontana.
decided to stick
Halfway
with the
to
freeway. So we got a little bit
Barstow.
more traffic right here again.
At
Now,
least.
is this traffic because CHP is running a break for another spike strip attempt? Let's see here. Because I kinda
Another
feel
spike
like
strip?
it's late at night, the
He's on the
traffic
proper side of the road
is
this time.
Unusual to see any kind of slowing. It's actually just a very, very little pocket of slowing as I look out the window here. It
I must have
looks
missed
like
that,
things are
Pat the
going to open
Weirdo.
up for the suspect, so probably not a spike strip attempt ahead as we do a little repositioning right here. But, you know, we've been on the shoulder so much of this pursuit now. Kind of surprised that the suspect hasn't kind of spike stripped themselves with some kind of debris or something like
Right?
that.
See, I'm not
in the
crazy.
roadway, because that's where
You drive on the
Caltrans
shoulder
or
long
CHP,
enough,
they
you will
respond
spike
to
strip
debris in the
yourself
roadway. They push
if you don't get that
everything
debris off the
to
tires.
the center divider or to the far right-hand shoulder, and then Caltrans comes and sweeps everything up once a week to remove all of that debris. So maybe this roadway
Caltrans
was
comes
freshly
once a week
swept
to
today
clean the
or what,
highways.
but,
I did not
I
know
just
that.
feel like
Interesting.
As much as we've been seeing out of lanes with this pursuit, kind of amazed that the suspect hasn't, hit something significant yet at this point.
And we're talking about, we suspect that this is a Mercedes of some kind, just the kind of vehicle they're driving. Sir, they have good tires, and we know that.
Right? That's hard to believe
As far
it's
as those
once a
vehicles are
week.
concerned, but, you wonder about gas situation where this started in Pacoima, Sylmar area, and now they're in Fontana. That's interesting. There's another incident that's going on right now in Fontana, so law enforcement are out and about.
Yeah, that's Dodge Charger. I mean, you guys can
There
see
they are.
based on the
Yeah,
back.
we were
Still there.
actually,
That's the
Go
Dodge
ahead,
Charger
Desmond.
logo.
We were actually on our way to that incident. I know Mike would have been talking about that, and then we actually, got word of this going on, and were able to be the first to intercept this pursuit in the La Cañada Flint Ridge area. Now we're, basically going out that way. We're past where we were originally being dispatched to. So just kind of interesting. You just never know where these pursuits are going to take you. As we make our way now well into the Inland Empire, is this suspect thinking about going to Big Bear? That's certainly, one of the
Big
roads that
Bear?
runs up the 210,
We've never made it to
330,
Big Bear on a
Highway
chase.
18. If they
That's
want
like
to do
another
something
hour.
Like that, or are they just going to take this all the way in to the end where it bends around south?
Thanks to these
Interstate
streams, I
10
know
in
exactly what
Redlands
car I'm
and
going to use.
continue.
My
Maybe
first
they're
felony.
headed towards
You're
Arizona.
welcome.
Maybe that's what they're thinking. I mean, just
This really is the Inland
derail
Empire.
here just because they cross state
We're in the heart of it.
doesn't mean CHP is going to say, "Oh gosh darn it, you got away this time." They're going to
Gosh darn it.
their fellows know on the other side of the border there, and they're probably going to do what they have. And Arizona, by the way,
I have not
as
been to
you
Big
may
Bear
have
just
seen
yet.
on social media, they have some
Every time I
pretty
try and go,
interesting,
it's usually during the NBA
pursuit
season.
techniques. They have this claw-like thing that can come out and grab
Oh, I forgot about the claw.
a bumper or a tire and completely.
We're in San Bernardino where they have
So,
snipers and
the
claws.
suspect better not hope that they're headed for Arizona.
Arizona, have y'all seen the claw yet?
Anything in the works to get something like that?
Okay, so in Arizona, they have these vehicles that have been certified to shoot these metal claws, which hook into the bumper of the car in front of you, and then they rope you in, a scorpion style from Mortal Kombat.
Populous, maybe?
There's a video of it out there on the internet. You can look it up.
It kind of just totally immobilizes the vehicle. It shoots from the.
It is
from
legit
control
Scorpion.
wraps around
Get
the
over
tires
here.
Just kind of slows
And they
it down.
reel you in.
Yeah, we don't have any of those here though.
And they haven't showed any signs of really slowing down except when they get in traffic where it's almost at a standstill, but they're still going at
NYC's got it too. It's only a matter of time then until LA, because if they can't pit on the highway,
Just go on the shoulder.
if they can't pit because there's just too many pedestrians, they don't want these chases to keep going for so long, they will claw the fuck out of you.
Go ahead, Desmond.
No, I was just going to say, you see CHP, they've been kind of reluctant to follow them onto the shoulder or the center divider. They have to. Well, all of a sudden here, speed's really getting high.
100 plus. We're up to 108 there for a second.
It kind of seemed like we were in this kind of lull, cruise control around 85, just got up to triple digits there again. But I was just saying, CHP, there you see not going into the center divider. Of course, they have their lights and sirens on, so they can kind of get.
You better believe if they get one chance to pit this guy, they're going to.
Getting a flat tire on this one.
I was going to say they know the roads better than most people, so
They tried to
got the
spike
right
him.
idea. But again,
These long chases that just
traffic is
not giving up.
pretty light right now. This gives you
We've seen a highway pit
trying to do something else.
somewhat recently.
Des, do you see anybody running a brake behind him? The freeway seems really empty.
It is really empty. I do not. Well, they're probably going to be one of these officers back there. Oh, look at that. Oh, there was going to be
Oh!
a spike strip attempt there.
They're hiding. He was hiding around the corner.
But right there, they were in the center divider again. But unfortunately, this time the suspect
Laney the
was on
Little
right
Flower,
side
should
of
our
the freeway.
families meet?
Oh,
8
okay,
months.
here comes our first
We
freeway
probably should if we're dating for 8
change.
months. We're getting off the freeway.
After that,
Oh, he got a little spooked. Got a little spooked by all these spike strip. At the very least, you could play mind games. We're getting off 215 southbound towards Riverside. You can play mind games with the suspect. If you have people throwing out spike strips, he's going to realize that I got to get off this road because they're setting up traps.
That's such an interesting.
So we're not getting off. We're just changing to the 215 southbound. We're in San Bernardino.
Something could be going on.
Northbound would take you to the 15, which is towards Vegas, but he's got to see all these Rancho Cucamonga PD cruisers behind him.
I don't know, you mentioned a bunch of times that there's debris all over the side of the shoulder there, so maybe he picked up on something, but those units were saying they were seeing, sorry, just looking at the traffic, units seeing that there was some sort of spark coming from under the vehicle.
Not sure where it started. I'm going to imagine near downtown.
Sparks on this side.
And we know they didn't. That the spike strips didn't work.
Yeah, they said on the radio Spike was unsuccessful.
So it's not that.
So it's not that, yeah, so maybe he picked up on something. I mean, aside from this guy running out of gas or just deciding to...
Really on the shoulder again, guys.
Damaging his car could be the next...
Why are we so far over?
...pursuit to come to an end.
Well, we're still on the 215 now, right?
I think so.
Yeah, we are
Might be
going
getting off.
Southbound 215.
Southbound 215.
Yeah, here we go.
What is this?
Just looking for any of these sparks or anything like that. I don't see anything, at least not on this side of the vehicle. We'll see. If
This
we can
sure
make
feels
our
like an
way
exit.
to, the driver's side at some point.
It's an exit.
Okay,
Off the
now we're off
freeway.
the freeway. First time in this
I was
pursuit.
gonna say-
and we
okay.
Oh, it's on now, people. Side streets.
Baseline road.
Game on. Unless he's going to make a U-turn and get back on the freeway. He's trying to.
So
Is it getting back on the
He's
freeway?
trying to get back on the 215 northbound, which will take him towards Vegas.
that's what they're
If he gets to the
thinking. And now we're on
15.
driver's side. I don't see any sparks there either. Maybe there was something momentarily stuck underneath the vehicle. And
See that? North Barstow?
The northbound 215. So looping back around. Guess didn't like whatever they saw or whatever their plan was there. They
Could have
settled
pit
that.
there.
Southbound
Damn.
215 is
Really
making
could have
their
pit
way,
there.
back northbound, we got to get around some of these flyover connectors here off of Baseline
That's not the
Road.
215 that he's
But,
on. Where?
All right, now are they just going to go back?
This is the
westbound 210, or will they hit the?
Here we go. Did I sign up for a marathon chase?
All right. Well, that was the first interesting.
All these
mistake
chases that
made
have been
in-
like
in
5
quite
seconds
some
long.
Time since we've been watching this, but only to come up and exit and get right back on the.
That was
freeway and go the
perfect pit
opposite
spot.
direction, so that it makes
Perfect
you
speed.
wonder Exactly.
Nope.
What kind of plan?
No
if they had
other
any.
pedestrians.
We're northbound 215. The other option.
Now he's
is
side
Vegas,
drafting
northbound,
semis.
Heads to Vegas.
That's what.
Whoa!
That's what you.
Hard right turn getting off the freeway here.
What was that, Desmond?
Whoa.
Was he just trying to get around a car?
Is he trying to get rid of the cops behind him? Where are we? Mount Vernon Avenue. City I can't pronounce. Hard through an intersection. Hard left turn. I don't know if that was a red light or what. A wide turn fishtail. We're on now 60 miles an hour here.
Threw out some spikes, so maybe he saw the spikes up ahead and.
Oh, because you know what? That cop was probably back on the 215 at the intersection up there by the 210.
And this is the first.
They were resetting up the spike strips. I don't know if he could see that though. We're on the shoulder again. Oh my God, look at the traffic.
I don't know if it was traffic, but I bet it was.
65 miles an hour standstill traffic there at a solid red light through another intersection. They escalate quickly, folks.
And he was trying to avoid it.
Yeah, that's better. I'm sorry, Pat. I was having a little bit of difficulty there. I just know.
Oh, intersections.
Here with some pretty heavy traffic. This is by far the longest that we've been off of surface streets on this one, kind of paralleling the 215 freeway. So the Cajon Pass, definitely an option for this.
No Cajon
if you wanna
Pass.
take this towards the high desert.
No,
You can see we're going
that's the
underneath
Cajon
the
Pass is how you get up to
freeway,
Barstow.
As we
Intersection,
here.
red light, red light.
Still
Oh,
CHP
Jesus.
on this one, though. We'll see if they have an opportunity for, a pit maneuver. Probably more likely now that we're on some surface streets. If they get the opportunity, maybe at a red light or something like that.
All right, Desmond Bull. I'm going to turn it
Oh,
over now
God.
to, Jeff.
Wide turn.
We're going to pick up our coverage of this.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, look at the pit! He hooked him and drove right through the back left quarter panel.
All right, we've been waiting for this.
Oh, every time you turn, it is a sign around your neck that says "Pit me." You wide turn fishtail like that, you will get driven up on. Engine stalled in that Dodge Charger. Looks like this, and the hands are up just like that. A perfect pit.
Was a pit maneuver there.
That is how you pit. K9 unit, 2 K9 units. 4, look on the right, you can see K9 underneath the numbers. 2 dogs. K9, 469, 697, both K9 units.
They'll take it, even if it does, a little bit of incidental damage to their vehicle, and it looks like that did.
What a pit. Hooked him. You get the cage in the quarter panel. You hook them. You kind of suspend them the same way you think you're picking some. What is going on here? What are you doing? This is not how you bet. What? Hands on
All
those.
right, we mentioned that there were 3
What do we call this?
in the car, right? This
It's like a
obviously is
crab
driver.
walkers. What the?
Haven't seen anybody else exit. So they're waiting to get
Yeah,
this
they're going to
person.
go one at a time on this one.
Anyway, is it push-ups?
And
Oh,
there's those all those guys in the plain clothes.
bear crawl.
I believe
The
detectives
unmarked?
or undercovers that we were talking about from the unmarked. So they've been.
Oh, there's more people in there. Is this a clown car?
I believe those are LAPD officers that have been with this the whole time.
Well, that's how.
Okay, watch this pit. Watch the hook. Here it comes. Hook in the tie. Oh, that's so picture perfect. So the quarter panel and the air between the tire and the quarter panel, if you can get the hook, the cage in there,
LAPD undercover.
oh, that is such leverage. You can do anything you want with it. Think of the Undertaker when he slaps the chokehold on you and got you in the air, just showing you off to the crowd before sending you to Middle Earth.
And there is that passenger Des was talking about in the tank top. Yeah, in the front seat there. So I can't.
That was some
Can't tell
NASCAR
them to get
shit
out.
right
Oh, now I
there.
can make it out.
And then probably one more in the back if
I
they're
mean,
saying
he hooked him,
car.
drove right through. You're going to assume the suspect is still hitting the gas, so when he gets spun, it's going to stall out the engine, and then the car is disabled. Like, that could not be any more picture perfect. There's hardly any damage. Look at the back right quarter panel. Other than just a little friction with the cop car with the hook there.
Saw the other
Look
spike
how
ahead and made
look
that
how
last hit
intact that
to
is.
get around it.
Beautiful. That's a swish.
Mistake.
That was a swish.
Yeah.
They got onto surface streets.
Oh, and there's
Yeah,
somebody coming
I think the answer would be either get your foot off the gas or throw the car in neutral if you're being hooked. No one's ever gonna think of that, and only Vin Diesel is gonna think about that. Dom Toretto. They made. Please don't fall. This guy's trying to get across the entire car. Okay, he fell. Now he's on the ground.
But they're going to want to come to them.
Is he gonna have to do a bear walk too?
The officer there motioning for him to back up. So hands up, probably turn around and slowly walk
Okay.
back towards
Gonna
them.
show no weapons. We're gonna back up.
Interesting that they made them climb over the driver's seat and not get out one of the passenger doors. I've only seen that one.
Dog!
I don't know if they did
Left side of your screen, dog. Look at those ears.
the same.
Go, good boy.
But that was kind of interesting too.
Oh, his
They
big
had
dog.
them over Instead of just
Good
get
boy,
out
Skip.
the side.
Now they're gonna send in. They're gonna clear the vehicle because it
Now, they
is a
suspect-
burglary
They
suspect.
suspect one more.
Yeah, the front passenger seat. That was the rear passenger, and there's still one more in the front. Passenger.
Another clown car. Yeah, it's a big dude.
That's
Given the call outs here for them to motion out, we'll see if they're going to make them come out at the driver's
Is that a
side as
person,
well.
or is that-
Maybe
what
just
is that?
because the windows
One more
were so
time on the
tinted, they
replay
didn't
here.
wanna have that kind of
Watch
split
this.
second of,
Hook, lift, choke
to
slam.
see
Boom.
The suspect as they were coming out the rear door there, open with the tinted windows.
That was probably a
Maybe that's
3-star
why
chase.
They wanted to be able to see him through the windshield the entire time. So maybe instructing this person to
He gave
come
up
out
quick.
through the
Whoa,
driver's
more people.
as well,
they're
and
moving.
indeed, it does.
Is this a girl?
Female passenger.
Yeah, she's climbing over the passenger seat through the driver's side, and there it is. There's the woman that you were describing in the tank top.
Yep. And she was, I mean, pretty calm. Every view that we had in the.
This is a lot different than the barrel
You know,
walk.
they were sitting there almost like with their hands in their lap. We never saw any fidgeting or crazy movements or
How many
anything
more people?
anything like that coming from the driver or the passenger on this one. They were just kind of sitting there stone-faced, and now being taken into custody.
What do you think these people
And they
were
believe
saying
there
when they were
only
getting
3
pit
vehicle, so
in
at
the
this
car?
point, probably just going to do one more call out, and if they get no response, they'll walk up.
Yeah, you better get out of the car, because dog coming. They're going to clear the car with the dog.
So real quick, I just noticed on the back of the plainclothes, their bulletproof vest there, it's LA Impact. LA Impact is that regional crime suppression task force that operates with a bunch of different agencies. LAPD,
God, they
PD,
want
the
to
Sheriff's
kill us on
Office.
this.
They've got a ton of different agencies, and they're kind of
Here comes Doggy.
clearing the vehicle now with
Ah!
these bigger groups and things like that. They're looking for the higher end.
Oh, you gotta be scared shitless. Ah, here it comes. It's a monster.
They've got the K9
Canine.
in the vehicle. I mean, they made pretty quick work. Let's say they followed this. It took a while to get to them, but they got them off the freeway.
Dilophosaurus.
And again, I just have to bring up
Dilophosaurus is in the car.
But I think, law enforcement has been on pretty high alert.
Oh, look at it lay down.
Anyway,
Good boy.
considering We've had a
Okay,
number
clear
of
in the
burglaries
trunk.
that, granted, happened at larger malls and stores, but still burglaries nonetheless. The one at Irvine was not big.
Right, and you never know what else these people might be wanting.
All right, people. I believe it's time to drop your 4s in the chat. We have ourselves a code 4. What is going on? Oh. What is going on the right side of the
Guys,
screen?
that looks like a code 4.
What is that person doing?
So we're going to end our pursuit coverage and turn you back to
All right, people.
programming, and
That was a
we'll
good
have-
one. Glad we did it. For this episode of Police Chase Live. If you haven't already followed the account, turn on your notifications. I will do my best to try and get them to you live, unless I'm traveling or I'm out. But until then, birdsintheair.com, still live and available if you haven't got your merchandise already. You gotta sell some pens. Sell some pens, some things like that. Birdsintheair.com. As always, appreciate you guys hanging out for 58 minutes of police chasing. That is a marathon compared to some of the chases we've had recently. But until next time, my friends, it's been a pleasure. Yours truly. See you on the timeline.